No, I don't need to go. I don't need to go. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Hello, everyone. Um, when I was starting the live, I'll turn off the light soon, sorry. But when I was starting the live, I had a little drink from my Coca Cola. I had a little sip of my Coca Cola, and immediately my stomach was like, okay, time for you to go bathroom. And I was like, really? I just had a shower. I just had a shower. I just walked out the shower like a few minutes ago. Now all of a sudden, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. But nah, I'll go after the live. Hello, Leah. So apparently, this guy I watched basically just described the next trailer for Avengers Doomsday, and hearing about it is making me think, like, I'm not gonna say it. You can watch him. His name is like Sammy something. But all I can say is my reaction to when after he finished describing like the end of the second trailer that apparently got leaked online. My reaction to that was, "Oh, we are so fucked." Like meaning like we're cooked. Cooked and fucked basically means like there's no way we're winning this. I feel like Avengers Doomsday is going to be like 2.0 version of Infinity War. You know, when in Infinity War everyone lost, then in Endgame they won. I feel like that's going to be sort of like that for us in Doomsday. We're going to lose, but we're probably going to lose some people. And then in Secret Wars, we'll probably still have some survivors or get new people. But what's the word I'm looking for? We we might win, but at what cost? What cost will we win? I'm like thinking like I'm thinking like imagine the characters one of the characters says to each other, I think we won in Secret Wars, like in Secret Wars, imagine they're like, I think we just won. And then I want one of them, hopefully, fingers crossed, I want one of the characters in Secret Wars to say, I think we won, and like either Thor or like Banner or like someone to say, yeah, but at what cost? That's what I want to happen. I want like Banner or Hulk to say, yeah, we won, like in Secret Wars, yeah, we won, but at what cost? I'm starting to feel like Doomsday's gonna be a 2.0 version of Infinity War, and Secret Wars is sort of gonna be like Endgame in a way, even though it's gonna soft reboot the MCU. I am sad that we're getting a soft reboot, sort of like DC, but that I can understand in a way. I can like both understand, but sort of not. But like we need a new fresh start. Although I'm starting to think like, are we still gonna have like Chris Evans and them? Are we still gonna have them, or are they gonna be recasted? Although I am excited for the X-Men movie. I am excited for that. I'm excited for the Black Panther 3 and a new Ghost Rider movie. I'm excited for that. I know Blade is possibly cancelled, but I was looking forward to that because not only since I do love Mashallah Ali, we're gonna see Maya Goth in it, and she's one of my favorite actresses. I heard originally before it was gonna be set during modern times, it was gonna be set during the 1920s, and I thought, fucking hell, I would love to see Blade in the 1920s. But then now thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna be making that Blade movie. And Wesley Snipes was right in Deadpool 3. There's only been one Blade, there's only ever gonna be one Blade. He was right about that. Again, I am sad. I'm just turning off the lights. One sec, guys. Because the light might be blinding. Ow. There we go. Darkness. You could probably sort of see me. Ugh. I'm okay. Oh, that was my controller charger falling.
What's wrong with me? I can't find anything anymore.
Hmm.
Tell me, Gunter.
The Dark Side of Helen West. This video captures much dialogue interactions could find involving Helen West, the Muffin Lady of Waltonton Creek. As Agent 47 digs deeper, he learns some dark and disturbing secrets about the serial killer in the making. I'm watching currently this guy playing Hitman 2. I love the Hitman games.
Well, he's a decorated agent, former Secret Service, eager, meticulous, and forceful.
Yes.
That was a nice shower. Very hot. But I think I burnt a bit of my body. Because my body feels red. I was having a shower before, and I swear to God, I think I've burnt a bit of my body because my body is both sore, but also I feel like I want to have like an ice bath now. I feel like hopping on Fortnite, but the reason why I'm not gonna hop on Fortnite is because I actually want to relax. But also another thing, I'm not gonna have anyone to play with on Fortnite. Some person uh, last week gave me a friend request on Fortnite. This was last week, and I accepted the friend request, and it was this like rude guy that I met on duos one time, and like he was saying like, I know you got us to win the game, but you still suck. And I said, dude, I got us to win, so what do you mean I suck? And he said, you didn't give me my gun back. And I said, okay, first of all, dude, I don't think you're remembering the right stuff. First of all, you keep dying a lot, alright? Second of all, every time we were reviving you, you kept yelling at us, saying that we're not hurrying up to revive you. That's what I hated from the dude, cause like, hello, Mal. Because this guy that I met, like, last week, I was playing, like, duos or trios with him, and he started yelling at me and one of the other teammates because he, not only he kept dying, but every time we kept trying to revive him, he kept yelling at us to hurry up, otherwise he's gonna die, and, he he gave me a friend request. I accepted it just for a bit to see what he wanted, and then the guy yelled at me, dude, again just because I wasn't like because he was trying to blame me for him dying. I was like, dude, it's not my fault that you're the one that kept dying a lot in the game. And he said, but it ain't my fault. And I was like, oh yeah, because every time people were shooting at us, you kept going ahead to them. I mean, I know one of my uncles would say like, "Hey, when you hear people shooting in Fortnite, you go to them." I don't think that's something I'm ever gonna do, because I know that there's gonna be more people coming after me. And hello, Tone. But long story short, I unfriended the dude, and before kicking him out, the guy had the audacity to say, 1v1 me, but he called me the B word. He was like, 1v1 me, B, and like the B word, not like my nickname B, but you might get what I mean by the B word. He said 1v1 me, and then I was like, no. I may not like 1v1s, but I'm not gonna waste my time giving him a 1v1 where he clearly kept dying a lot. So, obviously, no, I'm not gonna 1v1 him. Obviously not. I'd rather, like, because I was on Fortnite just for a bit, because, like, I was looking at the item shop and seeing if there was anything new, and all of a sudden it was like, this guy, or like, I'm not gonna say his name due to privacy, but it said, something something send you a friend request, and I was like, oh my god, who's trying to add me? And then I, like, looked, and then it said the guy's username, and I was like, who the hell's this? But then when I heard his voice, I was like, oh, it's this douchebag. Cause like sometimes when I see people's names from like games or like something, or like from parties, and if I don't and like the reason why I don't remember them is because like either I haven't played with them a lot, or B that I don't remember much. But if they like remind me of where I met them or I hear their voice, that's when I'm like like it clicks in my head like that's where I met them from or that's how I know them. Because one time I met this person, he kept trying to tell me like why I never played with him, and to this day, not to this day, but like for days I kept thinking I don't even know who this guy was, and then in my head it clicked because I was playing a horror game in public. Because I put it on public because no one was on, and then he was the only one that was playing it, and I added him because we shared our love for like horror and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's how we became friends. That's how. And then he said, so why haven't you hung out with me? And I was like, to be honest, dude, I actually forgot we were friends. And then he said, you forgot we were friends. And I was like, well, I don't fucking remember everyone on here. And he was like, how do you not remember everyone on here? And I was like, what the fuck do you think I'm meant to do? Have a notebook and just write down everyone's names? No. I don't remember everyone that I've added on Fortnite. Which is true because every time people say hi to me, I say hi back, and then they either say, "How are you doing?" or "Do you remember me?" And I'm like, "What do I say to this?" Like I'm like, "How am I meant to say?" Well, I say like I'm doing good, but if they're like, "Do you remember me?" I'm like thinking in my head like, "Oh God, should I just be silent?" Say yes or say no, but then when I be silent most of the time, they're like, "You don't remember me, do you?" And I'm like, what the hell am I meant to say? That's what I'm always thinking. There we go. You could probably see me, I don't know.
What I said.
I may have done a bit of research when I started talking about Australian travel arrangements, just in case.
Never the spy, Mr. Jones.
Room service. I got your bacon and eggs.
James, what a lovely surprise. Come in. Come in. Thank you, Helen.
I feel like I'm hungry for a muffin now. Ooh, muffins, as Theodore would say.
It's so good to see you over here, my darling. How are you feeling? Better. The days have their ups and downs, as I'm sure you know. Nolan Cassidy is a, well, excuse me, but a real pain in the ass. I never did understand why you needed to have so much security around you, James. It's been like that all my adult life, so it's hardly something I notice anymore. But this new Herald, well, he's no Schmidt. You liked Schmidt, didn't you? I did. But I want you to know that I hold no grudge. I can't say I fully understand why you... Well, I've done much worse. Much worse. James, it was an accident. I want you to know that. He wasn't supposed to die. I believe you, Helen. You went through things while away that no person of your fragile nature should have to go through. Experiences like that, they change a person. Stir at things deep inside that should not be stirred, and which...
If you guys don't know what I'm watching, it's Helen West from Hitman 2. And let's just say if anyone has played Hitman or hasn't, search up Hitman 2, Helen West, and you'll see the video called Dark Side of Helen West. Watch that and you'll get what I mean. If you don't, let's just say search up Helen West basement, you'll get what I mean. It's nothing like weird or anything, but it's something that you would see in a horror movie. I'm gonna watch one more part of this and then I'm gonna get off live.
Brought to the surface cannot easily be pushed under again. I think it's always been there. The urge. My brother had pets. They would inexplicably die, and Mother would be furious with him. I enjoyed that. At university, I would spike the boys' drinks just to see what happened. One of them fell from a window and broke his back, but I got it under control until...
I know I've played Hitman 2, but I've never heard an NPC slash a non-playable character mention anything about that. I've heard worse things, but nothing like that. It's making me think of that cat scene from Obsession. If you get what I mean. The one about the sandwich. That's what's making me think of in a way. I'm never rewatching that movie ever again. Not just because of that scene, but it makes me remember that I once had a crazy girlfriend. Well, a crazy ex now. I had a crazy girlfriend before I had my current someone. This was way before. She wasn't really obsessive in a way, but she was what you would call like a bit obsessive but so crazy. So like for example, right? She almost broke my phone because I had text messages sent to my sister about like what time we should watch like a movie, because you know we're siblings, we always hang out, well mostly hang out when I'm not busy. And like my ex was like, oh, why are you texting a girl behind my back? And I was like, what the fuck do you mean behind your back? And she was like, who is this? Like, I'm not gonna say her real name, but I'll just say A. She was like, who is this A girl then? And I was like, that's my sister. And then she was like, oh bullshit, prove it. And I was like, oh yeah? Shows a picture of both when I was a baby and her holding me. And she was like, oh, that is your sister. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But like in my head, like I said, it's okay. But in my head, I was like, bro, I want to escape from her now. Long story short, I am glad I'm not with her anymore. Cause I told like my mother about her, and she was like, bro, she almost broke your phone, and I was like, yep, she almost did. And she said, well, what would you have done if she broke your phone? And I said, well, then I would have grabbed most of the stuff she owns and thrown her in the dumpster. And she said, well, you can't do that. And I said, well, for someone breaking my property, I call that karma. And karma's a bitch, isn't it? Which it is. That's an actual saying. Karma's a bitch.
Well, you know, Helen, this
Oh
is
gosh.
good. I feel like this opens a new part of our relationship. There are things I know about drugs, poisons, chemicals I could teach you. Heaven. My true nature in check. This is who I am.
Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go. I'm not tired, but I'm gonna try and keep it down and try watching a movie, probably action, comedy, or horror, or I'll probably talk to my girl. But I just want to say I'll be going live tomorrow. Um, sorry, I almost burped. I'm glad anyone that could join, and thank you for joining. Um, but yeah, I'll see you guys later, aka tomorrow. Have a great day and a great night, everyone, wherever you're from. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.